Hi everyone and welcome back to Hess Hogs 4. Today we're going to take a look at the steps I take to do one of my favorite meals, smoke a pork butt. Now this is not a complicated process, but it is a time consuming process, so make sure you have the time dedicated to do this right. First step I do after I purchase the pork butt is I like to brine mine, put them in a little pork soak. I get it from Cosmos. So I got these yesterday, last night about 9 o'clock I put them in the brine bucket. They were in there from 9 o'clock last night until 4 o'clock this morning. Once I pulled them out, rinsed them off and patted them dry. So when we get to that step in the process, now we do a little trim work, we season it, and it'll be ready for the smoker. Something I've picked up along the way is I like to score the fat across the top of the pork butt. All you do is make sure you have a sharp knife, and you're just your knife right down. It does a couple things. One, get a couple good pieces out of it when it's time to pull this thing. And two, and you'll see along the way from a presentation standpoint, it just kind of looks cool. And again, we just do the top, not where the fat's at. This is where bacon comes from. Pork belly, if you've ever done pork belly before. So, one more cut. So now we got it scored. Again, it doesn't take any extra time. It's just something I like to do. From there, you can do a lot of different things as a binding agent if you want. A lot of people use mustard. I don't really ever use mustard anymore. I do just take a simple spray. It's cooking oil spray. It's duck fat. I say all the time you can use this stuff on anything. So spray the top, and then we're going to flip it over and spray the bottom. So now we've got that sprayed. We'll start the next part, and we're going to season it. Now how I season it, I use a variety of rubs, but today I'm going to use Cosmos Dirty Bird Hot. I'm going to use Cosmos Honey Killer Bee. I use the two of these. One, their flavor combination is outstanding, and two, it helps with the forming of your bark, and it helps with the color in your pork butt. And again, you'll see that later on as we do the smoke. But with these pork butts, you absolutely cannot over season them. It's not possible. So make sure you get a nice even coat. And I like to start doing mine with the fat side down, just because when I flip it over, the fat side will be up. We'll put the rub on there. And I do not like to waste seasoning, so when you turn it over, you got your rub here on the mat, use it. Don't waste it. More importantly, you don't want to miss a section either. What about you guys? Anyone out there had a chance to try out the Cosmos brand, or any best practices or rubs you like to use while you're on the pork, doing a pork butt? Okay, we are almost finished. We're going to be smoking this today on my offset Competition Pro smoker that I got from Char Grillers. We're going to be using Cosmos lump charcoal, and then for the wood, we're going to be using, not Cosmos, excuse me, Blues Hog. It's still early in the morning. Blues Hog lump charcoal, and then we'll be using Blues Hog cherry wood. And again, we're going to have it at 250, and it'll take as long as it takes. So if you want to zoom in on that, this thing is ready to go. See you guys outside in a few minutes. Thanks for watching. All right, still bright and early, just after 5 o'clock. We've got our temp right up to, it's about 250 degrees. Again, we're using Blues Hog lump charcoal and Blues Hog cherry wood. We're gonna open this up. Oh yeah. From there, we're gonna keep the fat side up. We're just gonna set it just like that. We're gonna close it, and we'll check it probably in 3 hours. I'll open up to give it its first spritz. See you guys then. Thanks for watching. All right, guys, welcome back. I've got Hog 2 Bailey out here with me, and we're 3 hours into our cook. It's still sitting nice at 250. And Bailey, what's it time to do 3 hours in?
Spray it.
Oh, it's time to spray it. So you want to come over here? We're going to open it up and just see how this is coming along. So come over here where you can see it. And oh, Bailey, those are looking good. I'm going to spray this one. Pretty simple. It's just apple juice, apple cider vinegar, and some imitation butter. And then Bailey, will you spray that one? Get some just right over here, sweetie, on this side. Great job. So we're going to start spraying these every hour on the hour. We'll probably another 4 hours away from wrapping them. We'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching. All right, so it's been just over 7 hours. It's time to do the next step in the process, Bailey, and that step is we're going to wrap it. Some people call it a crutch, some people call it the Texas cheat. I just call it good practice when you're smoking pork butt. So what we have is just some heavy-duty aluminum foil. When we pull the butt out, we're going to spritz it one last time. Bailey, if you can help me with that. Then we're going to season it, and we're going to just put some honey chipotle killer bee on it. And then after that, I'm going to put a rib glaze over it. And this glaze is cherry apple habanero. It's from Cosmos as well. Once we do that, we'll wrap it real tight, put it back on the smoker, and leave it alone probably for the next 4 hours as it goes through the stall. It's temped right now at 155 degrees. We're looking for that 195 to 205 mark. You really know when you just probe it, but if you're looking for an exact temperature, that's your range. And if you come over here, we'll open this up, Bailey, and you can see where the fat is separating. That's a good indication that we're on point and it's time to go ahead and wrap it. So, Bailey, I'm going to take this off. We'll need you to spray it for me.
Okay.
All right, so we've got that off. So if you could spray it, sweetie. Good job. Great job. All right, I'm going to give it a couple more spritzes. All right, Bailey, and if you could hold that and hold these for me. Step over to the side. And didn't do a good job of having my foil set up right. Even with gloves, it's still a little hot. See a paper towel, sweetie? Thank you. Out from here, put a little seasoning back on it. And after the seasoning, again, we're going to put the glaze. It's not an exact science, you just want to get it on there. And after that, wrap it up. And you want to keep the fat side up still. The reason why I like to use 2 layers of foil is in case you penetrate or rip one, hopefully the other one's going to hold through. And there's still a lot of juice as this is getting to the point through the stall. The juice and the fat that's rendered will continue to render. It's got to come down and out. So all that juice you want to keep inside of there. It just makes for a better tasting pork butt. So we've got that wrapped. Put that back on like so. Again, fat side up. We're going to close the smoker. We're not going to look at that for probably another 4 hours. See you soon. Okay, so we're 10 hours into the cook. We had 7 hours of letting the smoke penetrate the meat. We wrapped it in foil, double wrapped it in foil, added a little more seasoning, added a glaze, wrapped them up, and we left it alone for 3 hours. It was at 155 degrees when we wrapped it. I just checked, to be honest, and they're temping out just at 201 to 203. And what you're looking for is two things. One, yes, temperature matters, but two, really, I don't know if you can see, if you can come a little bit closer, really it's just about how easy that just goes in just like butter. So when you find that your probe is just going in right like that, it's done. So what we're going to do from here, Bailey, turn that off, my big helper. Bailey's been with me through this whole process, so Bailey, thank you so much for your help. What we're going to do is we've got one of these foil pans right here, good practice, you know, get them at Walmart, Sam's, whatever. We're just going to pick up the butt, and after that, we're going to put it right in the pan, and we're going to let this rest for at least an hour before we open it up, pull the bone out, get it shredded, get ready for dinner. How's that sound to you, sweetie?
It sounds really good.
That sounds really good. All right, we'll see you soon, guys. Thanks. All right, so the wait is finally over. We just pulled it off after 10 hours. We wrapped it for an hour. Now it's the time to open up, Bailey, and take a look and see what it looks like. Before we do that, just to recap, we got the pork butts yesterday. We brined them overnight, used Cosmos pork soak, pulled them out about 4 o'clock this morning, rinsed them off, patted them dry. After we did that, we seasoned them. We kept the seasoning pretty simple. We used Cosmos Dirty Bird Hot and Cosmos Honey Killer Bee. We sprayed it with duck fat before we put the rub on. After that, we got the rub on there. We took it out to the smoker. We used Blues Hog lump charcoal with Blues Hog cherry wood, and we kept it at a temp of, climbed to 250 most of the day. We smoked it for 7 hours, and after 7 hours of it taking the smoke, Bailey, we wrapped it. We wrapped it for 3 hours, and after 3 hours, we checked the temp. The temp was at 203. We pulled it inside. Now let's see how it turned out. So, take that off, Bailey. You can see it looks pretty doggone good. You see the part where we cubed out before, and if you look, by cubing it out there, you get little pork belly burnt ends, if you will, and they're just great to snack on. So we're not going to spend a whole lot of time pulling those off, but that's why I do that. And then everyone always measures how well you did by how easy this bone comes out, so I'm not sure what our angle's like, but we're just going to give it the good old pull test, and that usually means you did a good job. So we're going to pull that, set that to the side. I do have claws to shred it with. I don't want to do that right now for the video, but if you kind of just get close, take a look and see. It's got good color. The flavor's outstanding, Bailey. We're going to have to take a bite here in a minute. Let me pull a couple pieces for the taste test. And that's really about it. So start to finish, 11 hours. Between smoking, wrapping, resting, 11 hours. When we think about how much time we did whenever we let it brine, Bailey, overnight, that was 7 hours. So this is about an 18-hour process if you're looking at it for how much time you need to dedicate for it. So Bailey, we're going to give it just a minute, and we're going to try a bite, because that's just super hot, sweetie. You don't want to burn our mouths. And something I like to do after the fact, after I pulled it, is I do like to re-season it. It just helps bring a little flavor. Do you think about your seasoning? It was on the top, bottom, and side of the pork butt. It's not inside the pork butt. So if you have a good seasoning like Cosmos brand, it's always a win. And then when we go to make our sandwiches, Bailey, we're going to use our Blues Hog Original. I love Blues Hog's barbecue sauce. They have several different ones. I just happen to like original on pork. So Bailey, what do you think? You want to try a piece?
Mm-hmm.
All right, tell everyone what you think of that. You took a big piece. I better try a piece as well. What do you think?
Really good.
Oh, it's really good. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't had a chance, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, HessHogs4. We'll see you next time. Thanks again.